All right, everybody, welcome back. Sam's Army episode 2.241. We got a lot to talk about this week. We're going to start out with headlines where we will talk women's Champions League, Copa America 2024, and then a quick brush over on Euro 2024 as well. Weekly What If will be about soccer rules. Premier League, oh man, what a weekend of games this was. We got so much to talk about. I'm not even going to touch on how all the games. This was an amazing game, especially Sunday. And then we got a whole week of games to look forward to this week, starting with midweek and then also on the weekend. Then we'll hit round the world with MLS Cup preview, Champions League update, and quick MASL shout out, and then stoppage time with Ivan Toney's best bets, where the overtrain is still cooking, not necessarily with thermonuclear gas. We're just going with regular gas at the moment. And then, of course, everyone's favorite segment, GOAWs. Now, time to welcome in this week's distinguished panel of beauties, starting with Tweedle number one and only for the week, Mitchell Goulet, aka Overtime Mitch, who's got half his brain on tonight's Celtics in-season tournament game against the Indiana Pacers. So your question is an obvious one, Mr. Goulet. Who are you rooting for? And then an immediate follow-up. How can you sleep with yourself at night knowing that you're rooting against our very own TJ McConnell?
The questions are never obvious. I don't know. I am a lifelong Boston Celtics fan. If listeners of the pod don't know that already, they should by now. TJ, love you, brother. But it's Celtics all the way. This in-season tournament has been really fun too. It's very soccer coded with the point differential, with the group stages, and I think once people see like the semifinals and finals and how they're making a big ordeal of it, the NBA fans, even old heads, will kind of come around a little bit to the format because I think it's really cool. But TJ, I pray for you. You're going to have to deal with Derek White and Drew Holiday all night. It's not an easy assignment.
Not going to be a fun night. Yeah, I've gotten sort of into the in-season tournament as well, and I would call myself sort of a casual NBA fan. I'm sure that anytime it's something new, it takes a while for people to get into. So yeah, we'll see. Next up, a gentleman whose voice needs no introduction. Tyler Arbuckle. Terrence is back after an extended absence, not really extended, but after a little absence. And he promises not to bounce out midway through for a Billy Joel concert that he forgot about this time. So wasn't that what I can't remember what it was. First of all, you're playing hurt that week. So you're not I'm giving you the free pass anyway, but you had like a concert that you forgot about or something like that.
It wasn't a Billy Joel concert, but you're not really in the neighborhood at all. It was a Kenny Albert book signing and meet and greet. But you're close.
Close. I mean, so really half a dozen. I just made up Billy Joel. Oh well. Anyway, as a quasi-resident of Cincinnati, I have an important question for you. So I kind of want to get a sense of what the city has been like, because obviously we'll talk about MLS Cup and the fact that FC Cincinnati didn't make it. But have you sensed was there a buzz about the city going into the game, and then has it been kind of like a real deflation afterwards?
So I actually wasn't here when the game happened. I was in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And New Mexico United fans don't give a rat's ass about FC Cincinnati, just an FYI. But anyway, yeah, I mean, like even my significant other, which is why I'm in Cincinnati so much, like she likes soccer a lot, but she like really was getting on board, was starting to like maneuver her nights around being able to watch. And this place loves FC Cincinnati. Like I've seen when I go for runs, like I'll see more FC Cincinnati flags than I will Bengals flags sometimes. And like, yes, they were really getting behind it. The outrage over the Matt Miazga debacle and everything of the sort was just so funny to watch on Twitter and everything like that. And siding with the MLSPA and acting like he didn't do anything wrong. Anyway, this is all to say, yes, they were very much behind it. But I ended up talking to a cruise season ticket holder who was on our flight from Santa Fe to Denver to Cincinnati. And he just happened to be in Santa Fe at the same time we were, and he was going back to Columbus. And I started talking to this Columbus Crew fan, and like I didn't tell him what I did or anything. I just started talking to him about MLS. And my girlfriend literally like leaves the conversation and walks ahead in the middle of the airport. She's like, I don't want to hear this shit right now. And this is after the conference final, so it's pretty funny. But shout out Columbus. I mean, that city also loves their Crew. State of Ohio, big thing, baby.
That was a hell of a semifinal. It's just so cool that they, hell is real. They got the, there's a reason that people thought, there was some funny business going on with getting Cincinnati into the final. I'll just leave it at that. All right, there we go. Headlines up next. We will start out with UEFA, who announced plans to change the format of the Women's Champions League starting in 2025-26. They're moving from the current group stage format to something resembling, this Swiss model, which, granted, I don't fully understand, but we're gonna get a full, our brain is going to get wrapped around it soon enough, because the men's Champions League is starting next season with this Swiss model. Basically it's everyone's smushed into a single table and somehow ranked, despite the fact that they're not playing all the other teams. They're playing some of the teams, but not all the teams, and they'll end up ranked. I don't understand it. I'll just be honest. I'm a big fan of the fact that UEFA is expanding the Women's Champions League. I think that just sort of the market for women's soccer specifically is probably going to grow exponentially in the next few years. The one question that got me thinking, though, are we, and by we I mean like the US, CONCACAF, but specifically the US, are we getting like left behind by a long shot by the way that Europe is really sort of getting behind women's soccer, and UEFA is really putting money behind it, and they got all these countries that are already, in soccer. This Champions League, I don't know why it was this Champions League change that sort of got my mind thinking about it, but it feels like we're at risk of sort of really falling behind. Mitch, do you disagree?
I don't know if we're falling behind. I think we took a step forward with how far NWSL has come in the past 5 years. Europe is obviously, like, geographically more inclined to bring more leagues together. We just don't have that luxury. We could bring a Mexican league, we could bring a Canadian league, but like other than that, the travel just doesn't work out for us. I think we got to stick and move. I don't think the move is to copy what they're doing over in Europe, but instead create something akin to like another in-season competition with NWSL. Maybe it features international teams. Maybe it's just internal competition. I don't know. But it does feel like Europe has taken another step to catch up or, take the lead on us.
Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, I sort of, Tyler, you got something to add there?
I mean, I think that the thought of Champions League for American soccer fans, whether it's on the men's or women's side, is scary, because that means better. Champions League is better than anything that the men's side has to offer. Champions League is going to be better than anything the women's side has to offer. What we need to do, I mean, first of all, the Emma Hayes hiring is a direct correlation with how quickly Europe is catching up with us, if not has already leapfrogged us. Number one. Number two, we need to find a way, and this actually might be helpful for the men's side as well, for potentially the hopes of having MLS team compete in Champions League. We need to find a way for the NWSL winner to be allowed to go play in Champions League. Simple as that, which I don't think that they would be opposed to. Then the problem would be all these players who go on loan during the winter months to go play for their respective teams that they'll play for. Like if Sam Kerr is playing for an NWSL team, then she'll go over and play for Chelsea, whatever it might be. Then you're really going to have to make a decision as to who your allegiances lie with, whether it's an NWSL team or a team in Europe. But I think that, yes, it's an indication that we're slipping behind, but all this is good for the female game, right? There's no two ways about that.
Yeah. All in all, a good thing, but it just sort of got me thinking like, oh shit, we don't have anything really to compete with the Champions League, as Mitch said, because, geographically it doesn't work. Also, they've got so many countries with, high quality competition. I don't know, sort of what, actually, I know the Mexican league is quite good and growing fast. So, there's something there here in North America. Okay. Copa America 2024. So the pots were released this week, and as expected, the US is going to be one of the number one seeds, along with Argentina, Brazil, and the, relative redheaded stepchild of the pot, El Triste, who somehow managed to finagle a number 1 seed. But I think the question that, came out of that is, looking at the different pots. So pot 1 is Argentina, US, Mexico, Brazil. Pot 2, Uruguay, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru. Those are all South American teams. Pot 3, Chile, Panama, Venezuela, and Paraguay. So we got 1 CONCACAF team in there. And then pot 4 has 3 CONCACAF, Jamaica, and then the 2 qualifiers who will come from Canada or TNT, Costa Rica or Honduras, and then 1 CONMEBOL team in Bolivia. So Mitch, give me sort of what you think the maybe best case scenario is for the US when the group draw, I think, is on this Thursday on December 7th.
Also, Mitch needs to admit what he actually thought.
I'm gonna preface it all with when Sam initially sent this over, I took a look at the pots and I was like, holy shit, we're in a group of death. We got Argentina, Mexico, and Brazil. Guys, we are screwed. No, that is not the case. Those are the pots. Listen, I take in a lot of soccer information on a daily basis. I'm allowed to get one wrong every now and then. Best case scenario for a draw like this would probably be Peru, Paraguay, and Bolivia. I do not want to play Honduras if they get one of those CONCACAF spots. Honduras always plays us well. We should handle Paraguay very comfortably, and Peru is a good team. We're better. I think there's a lot of favorable matchups for us. Like I think we're in that 1-seeded bracket or pot for a reason, but there's so many teams here that could get a result against us and give us a real good game.
Yeah, looking at the pots, I mean, like you just know whoever's coming out of group pot 2 is going to be tough. Like those are tough teams. Uruguay, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru. Peru's playing well. You don't normally think of them as being sort of in that group, but like they earn that spot over teams like Chile because they're playing so well. Then that pot 3, that's one where I feel like, okay, we should win this, but we could lose to anybody in that group. And then pot 4 we really should beat, although Jamaica's on the come up. Tyler, what are your thoughts?
No, I mean, obviously that, Paraguay, Peru, Bolivia thing, that would be best case scenario. The fact of the matter is people aren't going to like this. I want the most difficult group possible. I want the group of death. I want us to play 3 really good fucking games in the group stage. I want to see if we're good or not. And if we suck, and if we get our doors blown off, and if we have a combined 30% possession average over the 3 games and we score 1 goal and we suck, then we got to reevaluate and get rid of Greg and just see where we're at. If we are competitive, we get to the knockout round, awesome. But like, I want to be tested. We don't get good friendly windows anymore. Even the Germany-Ghana window, that Ghana team was left for dead, not interested. And we got pounded by Germany, despite the fact we played a decent first half. I don't care. Give me the toughest group, because that's the only way we're going to find out whether or not we're ready for 2026.
No argument. Uruguay, somebody like Chile and Jamaica, that would be tough. That would be a tough group right there. Okay, quickly, final headline, Euro 2024. So the groups was it the pots that were released? No, it's the groups. The groups are out.
Don't confuse me again.
I know, sorry. You confused me there. So the groups are out for Euro 2024. And quickly, I think I'm probably preaching to the choir to everybody who's listening to this, but Euros is such an awesome tournament. It's like it's like surprise sex, like a surprise World Cup. Like you didn't see it coming, boom. Okay, I'm down with this. Like it's just, yeah.
Question for you, Sam, as if you're getting introduced. Is most of the sex in your life now surprise sex?
I got to be careful here. I got to be really careful. No, it's very planned. And when you got kids running around, it's like, okay, how about next Saturday night from 9 to 9:03?
For all the type A personalities out there, that gets your juices flowing, planning it weeks out in advance.
It's tough. Just wait. Just you wait.
Sorry, you can continue.
Oh man. So the groups are out. I don't really have anything to say about this other than I'm so excited. And this summer is going to be awesome. Copa America, the Euros. Like, this is going to be an awesome summer that we should definitely be excited for. I was sort of looking at the groups. That Group B looks just Albania got a tough draw there with Spain, Croatia, and Italy. That is not a group you want to be in.
But the Netherlands and France. I mean, that group alone.
And Austria. And it could be, I guess, well, I don't know if anybody coming out of the playoff, Poland, Estonia, Wales, and Finland. It's not Poland, with
England. England's going to struggle in their group.
Yeah, they are.
I'm telling you, all those teams sit in really low organized blocks. Denmark, I was talking about this with Toney on Counterattack today. Like, Denmark's the most open and free flowing of those teams, and they are slow and painful to watch at times. So, like, England is this could be it's coming far from home. I'll tell you that right now. I'm gonna put money on them to knock it out of the group stage.
Ooh, wow. Okay. That was a spicy meatball. I like that though. I like that pick. I don't know. I think they're just too talented. I love talking shit about them, but I think they're just too talented.
Now, talk to me about how Italy won a Euro but didn't qualify for the last 2 World Cups. Talk about talent and not being able to do something with it.
That's fair. Listen, Euros, there's a reason why, that the UEFA quotient or coefficient is so damn high. There's a reason for that. Okay, let's move on to weekly what if. We'll keep it quick here. Tyler's got an out, got a place to be, maybe some surprise sex to have, who knows. So weekly what if, we'll start with you, Mitchell Goulet. What if you could change one rule? I'll expand it a little bit. One thing about soccer. What would it be?
So I have a small change and a big change. My small change is, under the laws of the game right now, if you take a throw in and that ball fails to enter the field of play, you then get to take that throw in again. Why? You don't need 2 tries at that. If you cannot hit the field of play in a throw in, you deserve to forfeit that throw in to the other team. There's no reason that you should get a redo with that. So that's my small change. My big change is not well thought out, so let it be. I'd like to see, instead of penalties taken from the penalty spot, I'd like to see penalties taken from where the foul has occurred. Think about that one for a second.
That would be
it'd be interesting. Again, I haven't thought this out at all. So
you're really giving sort of the defenders a real. I mean, they could just follow along the end line.
But have defenders not been on the shit end of the stick with VAR for a little while now?
No, not fuck defenders. Defenders are
the lifeblood of this game. Defenders are the backbone of what makes this game great, and they have gotten the shit end of the stick on marginal VAR calls for the past 3 years. I would like to see just the seesaw tilt a little bit in favor of the defenders. You can still call those penalties, even if they're ticky-tacky on, through VAR, but the penalty has to be taken from where the foul occurred. Still nobody in the box, still outside the penalty arc to line up and get the shot. But maybe you're giving an attacker a little tougher angle. Maybe you're further out. Maybe you're closer in. Depends on where the foul occurred. I don't know. Okay. We'll hash it out later. But
interesting. I like the outside the box thinking.
I don't hate it.
Now I'm going to actually riff on that. So before you go, Tyler, I'll give mine. So because it's somewhat related. You're talking about how the defenders have, got the short end of the stick lately, and you're probably right in the way that, like, VAR, everything looks like a foul on VAR, right?
It's harder to defend now than it was 10 years ago.
Right. I think that's true. And nobody knows what a handball is. I don't know if that necessarily goes against the defender, but I would immediately say VAR is not used for fouls. And then I would also say handballs. Fouls and handballs in the box. No VAR. Leave VAR to objective decisions, offsides, wrong identity of a card, that type of stuff. Get VAR out of the game for subjective calls. I've been saying this literally for years now. It just adds another layer of human fuckery. We're still going to complain and whine and bitch about everything, as we're still doing here. And it sort of adds like a new focus to, like, the refs and the VARs, and that's what we're just arguing about, as opposed to the soccer. So I've been saying this for years, so that'd be mine. Tyler, what do you got?
So this used to be my biggest gripe in any sport, and it since has been fixed, kind of. It was if you failed to kick the ball out, if somebody touched the ball from a goal kick inside of the 18, if the ball failed to leave the 18, it's similar to Mitch's, you get a redo. No, if you are dumb enough to touch the ball before it leaves the 18, I want like an indirect free kick from where it was touched, or something along, or a free kick. But that since has been solved with being able to pass with inside of the 18. Anyway, this is kind of potentially going to happen soon. It's the sin bin. So I want the sin bin for two different things. Number one being I want to eliminate staying on the ground, the dark arts, shithousery, and time wasting. So if the athletic training staff comes on, you have to sit out for 2.5 to 3 minutes, which is already going on in MLS Next Pro.
Yes,
so,
absolutely.
And apparently it is totally wiped out that part of the game. So because if you go down and you're actually hurt and the athletic training staff comes on, like you're probably not coming back onto the field immediately anyway. You're probably going to wait 2 to 3 minutes. So it's a wash if you actually are hurt. If you're faking it, then you're going to leave your team down a man for 2 to 3 minutes, which obviously is not going to help at the stage of the game in which you're pulling this bullshit. So that's number one. Number two is for direct dissent and crowding the referee.
Yep.
I also would like that. That was said to be being implemented in grassroots football in England. However, it was like a 10-minute. A ninth of the game is a long time for your emotions to run a little bit high. Give me another 2 to 3 minutes in bin for that. I think Hector Herrera should have gotten a yellow card, if not a red card, for what he did to Victor Rivas during the Houston LAFC game. I know they're trying to crack down on this stuff, but those two things, and this is coming from somebody who used to verbally berate referees at every level, including the college level. I think that those two things will make soccer a little bit more bearable and respectable to the casual fan who we continue to, perpetually chase to come to the dark side.
Fair enough. I love both of those. I'm on board with those. Absolutely. Okay. So now we'll move on to Premier League. What a weekend this was, and specifically Sunday. Oh my goodness. I mean, part of my brain is a little, biased after having watched the Man City Tottenham game, which I was very invested in. But some of the other games, Bournemouth, Aston Villa, Liverpool, Fulham. I mean, those three games basically going on, not at the same time, but Liverpool, Fulham, and Bournemouth, Villa followed immediately by City, Tottenham. What a morning of games there. So I'll throw it to you, Mitch, because you're sort of unbiased in this sense. What was your what result was most interesting to you?
Spurs City.
Okay.
I think that was one of the most entertaining games for neutrals that I've seen or watched in a long, long time. Start to finish, that was cinema. That was we knew that Spurs play City well. Mikey called that out last week, and you were, I don't know, pessimistic about the results here, but everybody knew you were going to score at least once. Happened to be the first goal. Then Sonny's own goal 3 minutes later, outstanding. That's just poetry. And then it was just a beautiful game of like back and forth, punch for punch. And then that final decision from the referee to allow advantage and then not allow advantage, and to see like the reaction from some of those City players. I was like confused as hell watching it. And I have not seen any justification from the Referees Association all I've seen is outcry, and it's hysterical because everybody's right. There's no reason to stop the game there. We act like Jack Grealish was like going to score, like he was in on goal, like he didn't have a full half of the field to run with two defenders chasing down his neck. Was he on a breakaway? Absolutely, 100%. But like,
I wanted to see what happened. Let me see what happened.
Everyone did. Everybody deserves to. The game deserves to see what happened there. But Simon Hooper had other plans.
Yeah, but to say that City was like they took a goal off the board, I think is what you're saying. They didn't do that.
No, they did not. I have no sympathy for league champions City, who conceded 3 goals to Spurs without their 2 best players. Absolutely no sympathy. Was it a shit call? Yeah, absolutely. But they didn't rob the game from you. You lost. You drew that game, but you drew it yourselves.
it was a terrible call. I mean, everybody will admit that. I still haven't seen an explanation for why you saw him say like, yeah, let's play advantage and then bring it back after Grealish got the ball. I don't think there is an explanation for that unless he just didn't see Grealish up there and he just sort of thought the ball was,
He
away.
saw Haaland kick it forward with a little more effort than like just a short pass, and he was like, "Oh, okay, this ball must be into Rosette," but no, that was actually a beautiful ball.
Yeah, it was a nice ball, and he was in on goal, but he did have two defenders on his ass and basically a third of the field still to run. But the game itself, I mean, like the fact that Tottenham came out, and I was seeing all sorts of people thinking, talking about how if they came out playing Ange ball, they were just going to get absolutely battered. There was a little pessimist in the back of my brain who thought that was a legitimate thought about how this was going to go. And the fact that Ange came out and we're playing without Madison, we're playing out without, our center backs. We had no center backs on the field, and we came out and played against City this way. And to get a result, I mean, it just like, I am all in on Ange Postecoglou. Like once we get some players back and, the suspensions are done and injuries are up and all this stuff, like, I'm so excited. I'm just excited about Tottenham. And after the last couple of years, where it was like, we got Jose, we got Conte, and it's just like, oh, this is, even when we won, it was still like, Jesus, this is painful, regardless of how it goes. This is such a breath of fresh air. I'm just happy and excited, and it's like I'm excited about match days again, and like it just feels great. Now we're not like a championship contender or anything like that. So like we never were. We are still a top 4 contender, and I'm excited about it. I don't know, just this result, instead of like the minutia of like how it went, I just came away with sort of a warm, fuzzy feeling. Tyler?
I mean, considering what you guys have done in the last 3 games in terms of like being only the 5th Premier League side to score the opening goal and then lose the game 3 times in a row. And for you guys to do what you did against I don't understand why that's so funny. That's just a fact.
It's just such a Spurs thing to do, though.
Oh yeah, it is. And for you guys to get that result, first of all, Haaland's explosion after the game, I think, was more related to like how many goals he should have potentially scored as opposed to what actually happened with the call. That was just frustration across the board because he should have had 9 goals. City should have scored 14 times, but regardless, I think that it was incredible from a neutral standpoint. It had all of this sort of drama and chance creation of a Liverpool-Manchester City game without the deafening quality, if that makes sense. Like the Sun owns
Spurs don't bring that kind of quality to the table right now.
No. And especially with all the injuries that you guys have. But like the drama and Pep called for noise and called for more energy from the City faithful after last game anyway. He got the noise. He just didn't get the fucking result. And they have now conceded 7 goals at home in the last 3 games in all competitions. So they got a bit of a problem right now at the empty head.
You got that nice little jab there. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we had guys like Oliver Skip out there and, Ben Davies.
I want Alfie Dorrington to make an appearance and see his name on the team sheet every single time. I need him to get on the field.
Just amazing. I'm just happy about sort of the future of Tottenham, at least the near future and mid-level future. Obviously, we have a couple weeks where we're still going to have to power through. Like we're not out in the clear, and this 3-3 result, while very awesome and great and makes us feel happy and everything, we lost 3 games on the trot before then. So, we still got some issues that we got to deal with. This was awesome. Now, beyond this game, Tyler, what stands out from the weekend?
4 Liverpool fucking bangers. That's what stands out. Like, or what are we? The fact that Mitch, City and Spurs, like that was the greatest collection of goals that this game has ever seen in 90 minutes from one team.
Do you want to make a comment on the fact you gave up 3 goals to Fulham at home?
I don't give a shit. We got 3 points. Yeah,
okay.
We got Kelleher in goal. We're still Liverpool. We're still going to, stretch ourselves to the point of, potentially breaking. However, what did I say about the mentality monsters last time?
I knew it. I was waiting for the mentality.
Like you thought I was gone? You thought your boy had left? I'm gonna be insufferable until May. Insufferable.
We
This is
love
a
your
proper,
insufferability.
this is a proper fucking title race this year with hopefully, yes, I do hope that 3 teams will be a part of this race, and Arsenal, City, and Liverpool. But there's only one team who's going to come out on top, and that's the motherfucking Reds. And I have officially booked a Premier League lads tour with a bunch of college soccer buddies for late January, early February. Okay, listen to this list of fixtures that we're gonna go see. We're gonna go see Villa host Newcastle in Birmingham. We're going to go see Liverpool host Chelsea at Anfield, and then we're going to go see Arsenal host Liverpool at the Emirates in a week.
Wow.
So that Liverpool-Arsenal game at the Emirates on February 3rd, I believe, could be that sort of like title push game for the Reds and for Jurgen Klopp. But anyway, this is all to say that the noise that Pep is barking for, and the passion and the history and everything. And I know that this is what our fan base is able to bring to the table. It's everything that Pep wishes Manchester City was, and it never will be. And that game is a genuine instance of that. So I apologize for nothing, and you may proceed with the Boruto.
Fair enough. Well, we're not going to do full power rankings, but I do want to get you on the record
Liverpool
right now.
won.
Liverpool 1, City 2.
Mitch, don't scoff at it, because I rarely do that, if ever. I don't think I've done that.
No, I'm not. No, it's not a scoff. It's more of a delighted giggle.
I'll give you something to delightfully giggle.
Yeah, you will.
Oh, you guys and your sexual tension. There's some other games. I mean, so the Bournemouth Villa game. Shout out to Bournemouth for making that a game. I mean, I knew Villa was going to bring it. Bournemouth, they look like a team that did not want to get relegated in that game. So shout out to them for that. Newcastle and United, we talked about last week. Everybody on the pod said that Newcastle is definitely the 4th best team. Nobody gave United. We did power rankings last week, and we all went Newcastle over United. We kind of, a little pat on the back there for getting that one right. Newcastle looked head and shoulders better than United in that game. United brought nothing to the table. I still am so confused about this Manchester United team. Like, what are they? What are they all about? What is their ceiling? Like, I have no idea about them. Kind of the same with Chelsea, to be honest with you, which we'll get to in just a second. Burnley. So we've been waiting for, like, what's Burnley, are they going to do anything this season? Or are they just going to be sort of cellar dwellers this whole time? They came out and put a statement win on the board against Sheffield United. Now, Sheffield was down to 10 men near the end, but listen, Burnley ran away with that game. It was sort of a reminder of what they looked like last season in the championship when they were playing teams like Sheffield United and battering them. So maybe that'll be sort of a turning point for them. They certainly need it. Arsenal got the win that you would expect at home against Wolves. Brentford, Luton, 3-1. You kind of expect that as well. Chelsea Brighton quickly. This game, so Chelsea came out. They went down to 10 men early. I think it was in the first half when Conor Gallagher picked up the second yellow card and was sent off. And they held on to win 3-2 over a very good Brighton team. So I know we haven't been giving Chelsea much credit. We've sort of been giving them a lot of shit. That was a good win. That was a very good win by Chelsea. And again, it's kind of like United. I do not know what they're all about or what their sort of ceiling is. Mitch, any thoughts there?
I didn't watch that game, but it's hard to continue the season worse than they started it, Chelsea. Good on stupid couple of yellows from Gallagher. Didn't think he needed either of those challenges. That's the consequence, but no, good on him. This Brighton team, I still am undecided on as well. Hot and cold every single week. They're a dynamite in Europe sometimes, and then they're just woeful domestically, and then sometimes they flip that and they look like 2 completely different teams. I don't know. Both mid-table teams to me for this season.
Okay. Last game, quick shout out to Chris Richards, who played in midfield for Crystal Palace this weekend against West Ham. Probably not exactly where he wants to be, but on the field is where you want to be. So it's
earned himself man of the match as well.
The replacement for Tyler Adams we never knew we needed.
Or that we had. Okay.
East Mamba in there.
Now we're skipping power rankings quickly. One game. So we got midweek and weekend coming up. So basically we got 2 full slates, I believe, this week. one game from the week that you are most interested in, Mitch. What do you got for us?
United Chelsea.
The two teams where I just said
a battle for the soul of our nation.
Yeah, that's going to be a battle of the mid. I think both teams are going to pull out all the stops for this one because, I mean, to me, they're in the same basket right now. Is like they're not title contenders. They are both competing for a European spot, and they're both in really precarious spots to like what their team is supposed to look like. And this is going to define both of those in a good way or a bad way.
Yeah, I think it's it would be a big win for whoever gets it if somebody gets it. Tyler, what game?
Tough to argue with Mitchell there. Villa hosting City with City's run of form and Villa's run of form right now could be very interesting. And City have struggled with Villa in the past as well. So I'm intrigued by that game, but I love listening to Gary Neville shit talk his own club. He was doing an interview with Peter Jury on Sky Sports, and he was just saying how he's bored of his club and he doesn't want to watch them anymore, and he's disgusted. And then he ends it with, "But I'm going to revolve my Wednesday night around watching Manchester United." And I'm just like, you are every Jets fan known to mankind, and I love you so much.
That's a very relatable comment by him. I'm going to combine yours. So Villa City on Wednesday with also Villa hosting Arsenal on Saturday. So this is a big week for Villa. They could really sort of cement themselves as, you know, a team to contend with if they come out and get, you know, at least one win. If they put up two results, that would be something. They are both at home, so that's nice. Tottenham Newcastle, I don't know what to expect from that game. I think we're getting Newcastle at a decent time, and it's at home. So I put all my faith and belief in Postecoglou, and whatever he wants to do, I will be there and root my little balls off. All right, now let's go to round the world, where we'll hit MLS first. So MLS playoffs, we touched on a little bit with the semifinals. The first game, FC Cincinnati and Columbus Crew, was awesome. Just an incredible game. And then the one thing that stands out about the second game is the fact that MLS or security allowed LAFC to, you know, bring in a whole bunch of flares, which for some reason like went wild on MLS Twitter. The fact that all these other supporter groups were like, why can't we do that? Why can't we do that? It's like, yeah, actually, you might kind of have a point there. But let's talk about the final though. So we got the Columbus hosting LAFC on Saturday. I think it's a mid-afternoon game, like 3:00 or something like that. Tyler, what are your thoughts on this matchup?
This is kind of a match made in heaven for Don Garber, I think, for a multitude of reasons. Number one, I think that the contrast of big LA or New York or Chicago, that's a joke, Chicago being an MLS Cup, but New York, LA market being in the final paired with a tiny market like Columbus, right? I mean, that's what Major League Soccer is all about, having the glitz and the glamour and the appeal of Los Angeles. And then Columbus being a, you know, some of the parts, you know, gritty blue collar group that, although plays with all the swagger and the style of a team that you would imagine LAFC would play like. Wilfred Nancy arguably is the hottest commodity in Major League Soccer right now outside of Thiago Almada. I think that he will be coaching in Europe within the next year to year and a half. I think he might be gone in the summer. We saw it from Ronny Deila after he won MLS Cup with NYCFC, handed over to Standard Liège in Belgium. And Nancy has proved that not one but two different places that he has a clear identity. He can handle egos. He's good at developing young talent. And he gets guys to buy in. And not only does he get guys to buy in, but he does it in a really short amount of time. He did it with Club de Foot Montreal in less than 18 months, and he did it with Columbus in less than 12 months. And Tim Bezbatchenko is clearly the new Garth Lagerwey in terms of executives in Major League Soccer. So that's the Columbus side. LAFC, not enough people are giving them credit defensively for what they've been able to pull off. That's now 3 consecutive clean sheets in the playoffs, which is impossible to do. They went on the road and beat Seattle in the playoffs, which has been proven almost impossible to do. They are led by Chiellini and Jesus Murillo, which is outrageous. And Murillo is arguably one of the best center backs in the league, and he has proven that over the course of the postseason. And Vela is sort of doing this goodbye tour, although he says he wants to stay in LA. I don't know. They're going to pay him the money that he wants to be paid, and he might go get it somewhere else, hence Saudi Arabia or somewhere in the Gulf. And yeah, I mean, I think that this is contrasting styles galore. Columbus, possession oriented, want to keep the ball and really are just going to, treat you like a boa constrictor and just suck the life out of you. LAFC want to go on the break. They want room to play. And I'll tell you what, one of the two are going to have to adjust just a little bit. And it's probably going to have to be LAFC, because Columbus isn't going to adjust at home, and Wilfred Nazi will not get away from what his team is going to do, no matter what the scenario, including 2-0 down on the road in an Eastern Conference final. So this is going to be a really interesting game. And I think that LAFC might have to come out of their shell a little bit in terms of letting Columbus have the ball, because they did that with Houston. Houston ain't Columbus. They can let Houston do that. And they came out and said, we were happy to let them have the ball. So I'm super pumped for this game. I'll be there, and it should be mighty enticing.
Got a prediction?
No, I'm gonna hang my hat where it is, because I predicted Columbus and LAFC in the final weeks ago, and I'm just gonna stop there. Nobody asked me to predict the winner, so I'm just gonna, I'll give myself a proverbial pat on the back. I'm a sorcerer.
Fair enough. Well done. That is impressive. I think Dalton actually has a feature on Columbus Crew. So
does he?
Yeah, he does. He took it before the playoffs, I believe. That
game at least he's gonna get paid for doing something on this podcast, right?
At least somebody's getting paid around here. Listen, if you haven't been following my overs, that's on you. Okay.
You bet the over for every game from here to Timbuktu. I can't follow you everywhere you go.
That's true. But I picked 5, one a day, Wednesday through Sunday, 5 aside. Listen, you're getting paid. You're getting paid on those. I'm just telling you. But no, that's a fair point. And well done. Is that your finale, your rim shot goodbye? Well done. If it was.
Yeah. No.
Well, we appreciate you, Tyler. Thank you. It's great to see you. Enjoy your planned sex or surprise sex, whichever it is.
Yep.
Cheers, brother. All right. So rest of round the world here, we got Champions League. So we are now at the final group stage game. I was looking through the different, groups, different tables. Arsenal is sitting pretty. You guys don't even have to play your starters in this game if you don't want. They're up 4 points going into the final match day. So you guys are loving life at the moment.
Yeah, we'd love to rotate a little bit. This Tuesday game against Luton too. I feel like we could, maybe give Nketiah a run in, Reece Nelson, kind of, give the guys some rest. But it's still a Champions League game. We're still got to go out there and get 3 points. Doesn't matter if we're comfortable.
Got to be professionals. Now for Champions League, we have the final match day, as I said, and Arsenal is looking good. The other groups, the games to watch for. So in Group A, Manchester United is currently sitting at the bottom of the table on 4 points, but they still have everything to play for in the final game. Unfortunately, they have Bayern. That's the bad news. Good news is that at home, and Bayern is up so much, they're up 8 points in the group so far, that they really have nothing to play for. So Copenhagen and Galatasaray will be playing each other. If they say draw, they'll both be on 6 points. Manchester United, if they beat Bayern's, say, B+ team, they could go through. So that's something to watch. Arsenal, as we said, they're through in Group B. Group C is the interesting aspect there is that the second place team, so Real Madrid has it locked up. Napoli is up 3 points on Braga. Braga is going to Napoli in the final group stage game. So Braga has to go to Napoli. It has to beat them by 3 goals, I believe, to move through. It's interesting, right? At least it keeps some interest in the games. Group D, Real Sociedad and Inter are through. They will then obviously determine seeding, but they are through free and clear on Salzburg and Benfica at this point. Group E, this one is interesting. So Atletico Madrid is up top with 11 points. Lazio is in second on 10 points. Lazio is going to Madrid this final match stage game. So that, everything to play for there. If there's one game that really stands out, it's probably that Lazio going to Atletico down 1 point. So that will be quite an interesting one. The good news for Lazio is even if they lose, they can't be caught by Feyenoord because Feyenoord's on 6 points. Group F, as you mentioned before we got on, Dortmund topping the group at this point. I'm not sure a lot of people probably had that going in, but they can win the group, obviously, if they're on top, but they also could get caught by PSG. So that will be an interesting one to watch. Group G, Man City is free and clear, and RB Leipzig is locked down in second place. And then Group H is, let's see, Barcelona mathematically could be caught by either Porto or Shakhtar, but it's probably unlikely. What's their goal differential? I guess I don't really see it there. I don't know. Anyway,
Goal differentials +7. Porto is on their heels at +5.
okay,
If Porto beat Shakhtar by 2,
yeah,
yeah, why not? Porto's hosting Shakhtar as well, so.
okay, so that's an interesting one. Porto and Shakhtar, and then Barcelona is playing at Antwerp, and they don't have Sammy Vines, so they very well could lose. All right. Quickly, before we move on to stoppage time, a couple quick housekeeping notes to point out from the rest of the world. Number one, the Brazilian Serie A is coming down to the final match day here, and we still got a 3-team title race going on. Palmeiras, it's theirs to lose. They're on 39 points, 69 points. Very nice. And they are 3 points ahead of both Atletico Mineiro and Flamengo. So none of these teams play each other the final match day. One of them, I think it was Mineiro, plays Bahia, who is fighting to get out of the relegation zone. So they got kind of the toughest. I don't know if it's the toughest because it's actually the worst opponent, but they got an opponent who's actually fighting for something. Whereas Palmeiras and Flamengo are playing, mid-table teams, so they probably don't have quite as much going on. But listen, anytime you got a 3-team title race coming down to the last match days, that's worth watching. And finally, MASL, the Arena League, is back up and running. I've been saying it ever since I played with a bunch of these guys at the TST 77 tournament last year, which, by the way, side note, is officially coming back with a second tournament. So $1 million on the men's side, and now we got a $1 million on the women's side. So that's pretty cool. But ever since I played with a bunch of these guys from the indoor league at TST, I'm just I'm in on the league. There's teams in Kansas City and St. Louis and Milwaukee, and all sorts of, so I am going to pledge myself to get to as many games as I can this season. And I'm going to give a little bit of a homework assignment to everybody listening. Try to get to a game. Especially if you live in the city where they play, go get to it. I mean, if you watch the clips online, I mean, it just seems like I used to go to indoor games with my dad back when it was the St. Louis Steamers. I'm definitely aging myself on that one, by the way, but and it was such a fun sort of atmosphere and everything I see online with the clips and highlights and everything, it really looks like a really sort of fun experience. So I'm going to get to as many games as I can, and so should everybody who's listening here. Mitchell, you agree? Are you going to be there?
Yes, it's a very fast-paced game. However fast it looks on the internet, it's faster in person, and it is the tech on these guys. Yeah. It's almost a different sport entirely. It's different tactically. The movement is much different, but it's so exciting to watch. Get out to a game if you can. Seriously.
There we go. There's our MASL shout out. I'm sure there'll probably be more coming throughout the season. But now we'll finish up the episode with everybody's. Well, no, we're going to start with stoppage time. We're not going to get to everybody's favorite segment. That's obviously the last. Best bets, though. All right. So I got a little admission. I didn't feel great about my 5 last week. And, we still came out ahead. We weren't losers on the week, but, we went 3-2 on the week. It started out real tough, lost Wednesday and Thursday. Not how you want to, start out the week with the over bets. But then we brought it home strong, finishing winning on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm trying to remember I can't even remember the games I had. So I had the Central Coast Mariners. I had an AFC Champions League on Wednesday. Slim pickings, that was, by the way. And then Europa, Brighton, and AEK Athens. That they did nothing for me, 0-1. But then the Bundesliga 2 game, St. Pauli and Hamburg, nice little 2-2. Bundesliga 1, Gladbach and Hoffenheim 2-1, not bad. And then Eredivisie, NEC Nijmegen, definitely saying that wrong, and Ajax 1-2. So we brought it home, finished in the black for the weekend. I feel a lot better about my picks this week. Do you want me to go first, or you want to throw yours out?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So here we go. 5-a-side. This week's overs. We're going to start with Wednesday. We're going to go Villa City. I mean, City's coming off of this, 6-6. They're giving up goals, which is definitely, unlike them. So I'm a little nervous about Pep just.
See, I disagree there. Hold on. They give up goals.
This season they do.
City has conceded one less goal than United have this year. City concede goals.
All right.
Period.
All right. But I also have this, inkling in the back of my mind that Pep could flip a switch and then suddenly, just lock their defense down.
If he wanted to play more defensively, he absolutely could. But in their current form, I think both teams to score in this game is also a healthy bet.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. Because I was going to say, Aston Villa, they're coming in, they're scoring on everybody as well. So Aston Villa and City on Wednesday, that feels like an absolute lock. Thursday, we're going to go Anderlecht hosting Standard Liège in the Belgian Cup. We're digging deep. Those
two teams are up there, aren't they?
Yeah, they're both.
Oh, it's Belgian Cup. It's not the Belgian League. Okay.
That's right. It's Belgian Cup, but they're both, the first division teams. And when they play each other, historically, tons of goals. Friday, we're going to go A-League, down under. I love Austria. They have so many goals there. They came up big for me this week. I'm going to go Perth hosting Melbourne City in the A-League on Friday. Then Saturday, we got America and San Luis. Atletico San Luis in Liga MX when they play each other. And this is in the playoffs. I believe it's the second leg. So the first leg, we'll see how that goes. Second leg, you tend to be a little more open. And so whoever got to go get goals, they got to go get goals. So hopefully that'll come out big for us on Saturday. And finally, we will finish up in good old Bundesliga 2, one of my good stalwarts, along with, Eredivisie and some of those other leagues. Bundesliga 2, we got Dusseldorf hosting Holstein Kiel on Sunday, and that will absolutely go over as well. So there you go. Wednesday through Sunday, overtrain. We're cooking, hopefully, with some more thermonuclear gas. I guess we'll see on that. Now your turn, Mitchell Goulet, aka Overtime. Mitch, what do you got for us?
What a title I have earned for myself there. Okay, I got 3 games across 3 different European nations. The first one is going to be tomorrow, Tuesday. We're filming this on a Monday. It's Arsenal first half money line against Luton. Against these kind of lower in the table teams, Arsenal has come out absolutely firing. We did it this weekend against Wolves. We had to sweat that game out more than I think any of us cared to, but we handled business. And we came out and just overwhelmed them in the first 20 minutes. It was quality football. We want to throw men forward. So I like Arsenal first half money line, not
to derail you there, but what happened there? I basically stopped sort of paying attention after you guys went up 2-0.
Right, you thought we had it wrapped up. I fell asleep defensively real late. It was a good finish, but I think it was a momentary lapse of defensive judgment, followed by just a wave of Wolves attack. We handled it. It was I was nervous, but we took care of business. We should not have let up that goal, but that kind of stuff happens. That's why you pad yourself with a 2-0 lead.
Fair enough.
Second game I've got is AC Milan spread against Atalanta. They're going to be playing at Atalanta, who has been underwhelming this season. AC Milan is flying right now. I think we need to give Christian Pulisic his flowers for his, solo-ish goal over the weekend, assisted by keeper Mike Maijan. That was the touch alone was beautiful. And then to take it through not 1, not 2, but essentially 3 defenders, dribble it round the keeper, still maintain possession, and then invert his body and finish across the face of goal with a little dink. We've never had an American be able to do that. Be able to, yes, but do that? God, I can't remember a Clint Dempsey or a Landon Donovan goal that has been that skilled from midfield to take that kind of touch. And not to discredit those guys. You guys know what I'm saying. Yeah. But, God.
They had their strengths. They had their strengths.
They did. Right.
That first touch, the way he brought it down with the inside of his foot over his shoulder, that was insane. That was one of the best first touches you'll ever see. And then sort of had to have the balance and everything to just sort of power away from 3 defenders going after him. I mean, that was That was incredible. It was an awesome goal.
And AC Milan as a team are playing well right now. Atalanta are not. They just lost 3-0 today. I like AC Milan in this. And then my last one is in the DFB Pokal. I like Gladbach to win at home against Wolfsburg. You're still getting plus money there. And Gladbach score a lot of goals, so that's could also be a candidate for your over there. But I like Gladbach against a mid-table Wolfsburg side right now.
Yeah,
Put
I'm
them together,
surprised.
you're at 615 plus 615.
I didn't know if you were putting those all together or not. Okay,
Yeah, you got to put them together. What do you think? I'm hitting single bets? Fuck no.
Of course not. This is listen. Betting is a game for heroes. The Gladbach at plus money. I'm at home.
Interesting. At home.
They know something we don't. They must. Okay, time to finish strong. We got everybody's favorite segment. GOAWs. You want to go first? You want? I only got two this time. I've had like a long list in previous weeks.
You only have 7 honorable mentions and a couple. I do. I have a romantic one. It is Darlington Nagby, and I have some stats to back this up. Darlington Nagby won the 2010 NCAA title at Akron, won the 2015 MLS Cup with Portland, won the 2017 Gold Cup with the U.S. Men's National Team, won the 2018 MLS Cup, 2019 US Cup Open, and the 2019 Campeones Cup with Atlanta, and now the 2020 MLS Cup and 2021 Campeones Cup with Columbus Crew. The man is a winner. But what I really want to read to you is I'll call it a ballad that Diego Valeri posted about him. Just pure poetry. And if you could grant me this, minute of monologue right now, you're gonna appreciate it.
Hit us with it. It's too bad we don't have like some sort of romantic music.
Right. I'd love a visual or like kind of some kind of audio visual presentation to give you guys, but you're just gonna have to deal with me reading. Darlington. Selfishness does not fit into team sports. The ball must be shared. However, Darlington Nagby could very well keep it at his feet for an entire match, and I bet no one would take it from him. The captain of Columbus is a humble soul and an outstanding football player. I met him 10 years ago, and he was a dazzling right winger with a scoring touch. Today, he's a midfielder who understands everything his team needs because this is his team. The quiet little man empowers himself when he plays. That's how he speaks, in silence. He mourns injustices and savors the candies of pain. This profession has its gray clouds. Nagby is a sun. He grows on the field. His smile shines on the stage, holding a trophy in his hands, as he did in every club he's played for. If I ever have grandchildren and they ask about soccer in the United States, I will tell them that I played with him. Are you kidding me? That's beautiful.
Did he write that, or did he have
like
an actual poet like Ryan? That's good stuff right there.
I hope one day I find a woman that loves me as much as Diego Valeri loves Darlington Nagby. Good Lord. I don't know if you could hear it. I was tearing up during that. And he's been it's a shame that like his tenure in the U.S. men's national team wasn't as decorated as some other players, but he has been a staple of American soccer for over a decade now. And the man wins wherever he goes. His record has shown that. So my go this week is a well-deserved Darlington Nagby.
Good shout. Very good shout. I saw that missive that Valeri wrote. I was like, God damn, this is quality stuff right here. Diego Valeri, apparently, he's a bit of a savant on and off the field. So shout out to him.
Poet, and he didn't even know it.
Did not know it. So I've got 2 honorable mentions that are actually going to be paired together for GOAWs this week. So the first one, they're both, and you'll see the tie that binds them together pretty easily here. So the first one is Joao Felix, who scored for Barcelona against Atletico Madrid. And, his history with Atletico Madrid goes back obviously many years. It just didn't work out there for whatever reason. But, he did not decline to celebrate. He celebrated as you would, which was, not surprising. And I thought, a totally understandable move. But just the fact that he scored for Barcelona, he's been through a lot of sort of trials and tribulations. And it was great. It was cool. I like to see that storyline. And a very similar story was with Cesar Huerta. So he is now a player for Pumas in Liga MX. And he scored last night in the Liguilla playoffs against Chivas And Chivas is the team that he played for years in the youth setup. And so when he scored, he immediately, like, he had a shirt ready to go against his boyhood club, I guess you'd call it. I think it was Re-Hecho in CU. CU is like, I don't know, Ciudad Universidad or something. It's basically Pumas. But it said Re-Hecho in CU, which basically was given the middle finger to Chivas, who he felt like never really gave him the opportunity to flourish and be a first team player, and saying that he was really sort of made into the professional soccer player he is by Pumas. And it's kind of like a big fuck you to Chivas. And obviously there's some parallels there between Joao Felix and sort of what he went through with Atletico Madrid, and now Cesar Huerta for Liga MX. And shout out to Herc Gomez, who, because I was like, dude, I can't quite wrap my head around like what exactly this means. He like explained it to me. So shout out to him for that. Those are my honorable mentions. My actual GOA is Girona's 37-year-old striker, Christian Stuani. 37-year-old. Shout out to the guys with some tread on a little bit of tread left on the tires, but not quite as much as we used to have. So with 37, he got subbed on by Girona, who, by the way, is in second place in La Liga. A team
very real title contenders.
Very real.
Very real.
They look good. They score a bunch of goals. They are on my not must bet in the overs category, but they're on the must look at every week. That list is very long, by the way. So Christian Stuani was subbed on in the 82nd minute when Girona was down 1-0 or 0-1. He got subbed on in the 82nd minute, went in to score a brace and secure the win, so that Girona stayed in second place, right behind, I believe, Real Madrid. Actually, they're even on 38 points with Real Madrid. They're just behind them in goal differential. So just a 37-year-old guy, Christian Stuani, coming off the bench, like helping this Cinderella story sort of stay abreast of the Liga title race. There's some romance there, especially for someone of my stature and increased
one for the old guys.
Yeah, it's just we olds like to see other olds doing things still. It reminds us that maybe we're still humans, and maybe still athletes. All right, obviously that was liberal use of that, when especially looping myself into it, but thank you, everybody. Mitchell, you are the best. Tyler, I would say you are the best. He is having whatever he's doing, and right. And everybody else, thank you guys and girls. Thank you for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed it as you do every week. And honestly, I really do appreciate everybody who's been listening to this for so long. You guys are the best. You really are. See you guys.
You guys just log on and listen to us talk and chat shit all the time. And I mean, you don't have to listen to us, but you choose to, and we appreciate it.
That's why they're the best. And that's why I honestly appreciate each and every one of you guys. We'll be back next week. See you guys then.